We'll have lighting meetings like 6 months out. Like, this is the color that has to be in the movie. When I told them we're gonna do all the lighting through waterfalls, they both looked at me like, that's 1 million gallons of water a day. Yes, let Berlin know now.
The movie absolutely rips. Like,
it's something.
It's grand. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Also, the top. You and Dan, your DP, masters of a wide.
Thanks. We have the new anamorphic Master Primes on this, so we tried a different lens package, which is great.
Yeah.
Kevin Cavanaugh's a big part of this. He's my production designer. Okay. So that's the magic trilogy, right? That's the three of us that spend more time scouting than I think anybody. Like, I drive them nuts with how much I scout and how much we see. We'll have lighting meetings like 6 months out. Like, this is the color that has to be in the movie. When I told them we're gonna do all the lighting through waterfalls, they both looked at me like, that's 1 million gallons of water a day. Yes, let Berlin know now.
I feel like every John Wick always has incredible casting with this. This feels specifically tailored to a lot of people who are big DTV action people.
Yeah,
not just with Donnie,
Yep.
who's a legend in his own right, but Scott Adkins.
And Marco Zerora.
Two
of my faves, yeah.
I want to know, how did Killa become, like, who came up with the concept of Killa? Was that Scott came in with an idea of, like...
Scott and I I've been trying to get Scott into, like number 2 had like little cameos by Daniel Bernhardt and Gary Daniels and Mark Dacascos. Like, I came up in that smaller budget martial art world where these guys were like heroes, and I got to work with them. They were super cool to me as a stunt guy. So to be able to work with them, and not just as a glorified stunt role, but like, how do we work them into the world and really, because these guys can really, in the right spot, they're fantastic, and they can all act. They just, I want more people to see them because I think they're wondrous.
Yeah.
And they're physical cast members, and they can, like Scott, when he came, I was like, he was trying to be a number 2 in the schedule. Then we almost had him a number 3 in the schedule because he was so busy, and I'm like, and this time we're both like, if you do 4, I'm like, I'm never doing a 4, okay? But if you did do a 4, I'm never doing a 4. Okay, I call Scott, I'm doing a 4. So how do you want people, like Scott was one of the first people I called. Like, look, I'm gonna write a part, I have some wacky ideas, let me finish writing the part because I don't know how it's gonna fit in the story yet, but it's not gonna be what you think. He's like, whatever, man, I'm in. I'm like, you say that, but it's gonna be, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, look, man, can I do more than just kick? And I'm like, oh yeah, don't worry about that, don't worry about it. So we came up with this part, and next thing you know, it's 7 pages of dialogue. He's gonna carry the scene. It's the only spot I could bring my 3 leads together, the 3 main, the 3 main guys, the Tracker, Kane, and Wick. And I'm like, look, but I need to do this in a way that, I love Sammo Hung and SPL. Like Sammo Hung, I got to work with him a couple times on his TV show. I love the man. Great choreographer, taught me so much. But SPL is a very special thing for me with him and Donnie, and he had the big purple suit on.
Yeah.
So I kind of had the idea, and like, I love watching it. Sammo's one of my favorite choreographers of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many great ones, but he just has a little something to it.
Pedicab driver
and
is
exactly.
Cool.
And right?
Yeah.
And to see a guy of his size and physique move like he does, it kind of messes with your head a little bit. And also, Scott is one of the best looking guys on the planet. So you kind of see him coming.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, well, I'm not trying to hide Scott, but I am trying to see this, like, I forget the character's name, like Casablanca, the guy in the big white suit, but like, there was just something when we wrote the scene. It really had nothing to do with the physique or the body type. It just had to do with, I don't want you to know it's Scott, and I want some character. I just kept seeing this big, larger-than-life character that loves gambling and was kind of the kingpin of the Eastern European bloc. And that's how we had Killa Harkin, which we thought was a cool name based on some old Turkish gangsters or something like that. And we thought it'd be cool if Scott, because he's so good physically, like, I just want you to learn how to shuffle. And you can do all these card tricks.
So he did that all on his own?
We got one of the best card shuffling guys we could find, and Scott goes, I'm gonna do it. So we spent like the next 6 weeks that's all Scott doing. Like when he flips that ace, that's he's really great. Catching the ace. And like, you gotta know Scott. Scott is a machine. When he goes, I'm learning something, he's like Keanu. He is a machine.
Yeah.
Like, I can picture him in his hotel room just like doing it, right? I go, look, this is my pitch. This is what I kind of want you to, this is the vibe. And how we do all the John Wick casting is, look, we build a frame. I write in the script what I like, almost on the nose, what I want the scene to mean, feel, and get, and then we workshop with the cast member to have a voice, to have some authorship over it, to help with the wardrobe and stuff. But the design was there, and this guy goes in, well, I want to do this, I'm going to be the car guy, I'm going to shuffle, I'm going to have this weird German-Turkish accent, I'm going to have gold teeth. Scott, well, just give me a bunch of gold teeth and you can knock one out. I'm like, genius, dude, genius. Yeah. He's like, well, yeah, I'm going to be doing this, and when I kick, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to have, I want a little asthma, and I want to like, whoa. He brought so much of himself. So I would say, you know, we had the framework of Killa, but Scott's the one that really put the polish on it.
I love that. And you mentioned SPL, and I gotta bring up, like, I got huge SPL vibes from what Donnie was doing, especially with the cane work in a lot of the scenes.
Donnie's fantastic. Like, he came in, like, at first you think he's going to be some, you know, he's going to do something that you've seen him do before. But he kind of came, he's like, look, because he's very interesting, like Donnie, how he choreographs. It's all from character, and it's all from some backstory thing. Like, that's easy to say. But Donnie will sit and watch, and he would come to all the stunt rehearsals. Like, this is Donnie Yen.
Yeah.
Like, he...
Donnie Yen.
Like,
Period.
I'll use some language. He's f***ing awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I have worked with all the martial art people. And then everyone's got their extra, like, I've seen some amazing humans move. Donnie, at his age, moving, you'll sit there, and the first time you'll see him do something at what he does, it stops you for a second. You have to go, wait, do that again? Because it doesn't register how clean and crisp and fast it is.
Yeah.
So for him to go to stunt rehearsals, like, yeah, I want to go, like, sure, I don't, it's hard for me to say, hey, Donnie, you got to go work out, you got to go practice. Because it's only hit, like, you know, we know where. And he's like, no, I want to go. And he'll sit and he'll watch. And we had this idea for when he was dueling Hiroyuki Sanada. And, you know, it was we had an idea. And Donnie was like, that's not how Kane would move. And like, well, do tell. Because we were thinking he was going to move, and we were trying to be complimentary to what we've already seen him do. He's like, I want to do something different. He's like that. So he watched Hiroyuki, and he watched him, and Hiroyuki had some ideas about how he moves. And Donnie was very complimentary. He's like, no, we want Hiro to do what he's great at, and I want to do something. So I'm gonna, like, teach me some fencing. Let me see some what rapier, what a foil, what a fence, that quick. And then he started saying that, and then Hiro gets in, the stunt team gets in, like, and then you come up with this super clean. He's like, you don't want to cut, like, you want to try and get this. Well, let's make contact, but let's do it with like a Chi Sao, you know, kind of Chinese connection vibe, but we'll do it with swords, and then I want to thrust, and it'll all be about quick, because if I'm not quick, he's going to kill me, because look how good he is. And he literally flipped, him and Hiroyuki managed to flip the whole choreography to be this more brotherhood thing, and I guess a kind of sad duel in a way.
Yeah, you feel the emotion in that fight so
and that's
much.
That's when beautiful. You have Hiroyuki and you have Donnie. They're so good. They get the moves. They get the physical part. They want you to fall in love. Like, if, you know, I've had this talk a couple times. You know, whatever you want to say about action or why you think John Wick, I learned from really great people. And it was never really about the choreography. Yes, there's the physical side of it. There's the moves, there's the storytelling, like, that's all, I get all that BS, I get it, and it's all true. But the most important thing about action is, do you love the character doing it?
Yeah.
Or do you love them? Do you hate them? Are you interested in them? If you spend time, like, there's no action in this movie for 40 minutes. Like, surprising, right? So you spend all that time, like, you love Keanu, like, not Wick, you love Keanu being John Wick. You love Hiroyuki Sanada, that's why you love the guy before he's even the character. You love Hiroyuki Sanada, so as Shimazu, there's already a built-in like factor. You love Donnie Yen, and it's up to Donnie to really snag you with his characterization of Kane. So you spend all the time setting up people you love, now you put him in this impossible dilemma of having to fight life or death with each other. Did you really know who to root for in that?
No.
Exactly. Do you really know who to, you love Bill Skarsgård. You hope he gets it, but you kind of don't want him to get it, but you love him to get it. You're kind of like, how's he going to get it? The trick with action is always make great characters that you care about, then put them in the shit.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If you just have a character you don't really care about and then put him in the greatest, coolest choreography on the planet, it doesn't land as hard as Jackie Chan sipping a cup of tea because you already love the guy.
Yeah.
So if you can figure out ways to make you love the guys and put them in that situation where you feel for them, whatever choreography you do after that is secondary to what you built with the character. That's the true trick with great action. And I think that's why Wick works so good, because I have great cast.
Yeah, the cast is fantastic.
You know?
That's my time. It's been fantastic talking
Super.
to you.
Yeah, no,
literally, you answered all my questions that I had, like,
sorry, man.
about process and working with Donnie and all that.
Good?
So
okay.
fantastic.
I want you to get everything you need.
Thank you.